All right, out here in northwest Indiana. Actually, I think it's northeast Indiana, to come to think of it. A little town called Angola. All right, you can see we're in a trailer park. This is a seasonal community, and people come here and they live. Some people live full time. Some people use this place as a recreation spot to come and just put their pop-up campers, or just come out and fish in the little lake that we have over there. It's an interesting place. Okay, I've got a couple thoughts on this. I'm going to share, um, potential opportunities and some general mindset on um, it's what you get to deal with in trailer park. So I don't know what your image is of a trailer park, but mine is. I've been around a couple. I've known some people that have lived in them, and you know, so I'll save those thoughts, those reservations. I'll keep that to myself. But here's what we get to experience. There's a lot of partying. Okay, in this seasonal resort. Okay, people come here, they party all night, they do their thing. They're Some are inconsiderate. Okay, there's some nicer part of town. There's not so nice part of town. And this is just one of those communities that um, let me lay it out. Here's the actual facts that I've seen so far. Okay, there's about 1,000 different campsites, and as you look around behind me, you can see that, like, okay, so prime example. Here's one. Okay, it's a corner lot. Then you got this next one. That's kind of, oh, right here. That's another one. So that's probably two lots. Okay, and then you got some right behind us here. You got kind of how that's all looking, right? I don't know the exact dimensions of these lots, but just there's 1,000 of them. Now, lots will range. You can get them as cheap as probably $500. I would venture off to say. But then you've got lakefront lots over, say, this one over here, right there. They're probably getting $20,000 to $30,000 for a waterfront lot um, in this community. Now, just something to think about, right? So let's talk about the numbers and the opportunity. You've got 1,000 lots. There's an HOA, or like a community fee, of $300 that will pay for maintaining the community events. There's a beach area, there's swing sets. I mean, you see that's kind of the play set that we get. There's another little one down the way, and some general pond maintenance. So 1,000 times 300, or $300 a year. I mean, do the math on that, right? Supposedly you should have $300,000 in revenue annually. Is that right? 300 times 1,000, yes, $300,000. And then there's some people that have unpaid dues, and there's a lot of these different places that are just, you know, they're not very well maintained. Okay, so think about that. From a revenue standpoint, you got $300,000 in revenue that you potentially could bring in. Now, I don't know what the HOA standards look like. I don't know if you can foreclose on people, but there are definitely some campers that are not being lived in and probably not even being collected on. So it's just something to think about. Now on to the opportunity. Um, Man, I don't know how many acres. I'm gonna have to measure this thing out, but if there's 1,000 different, lots, and each lot is maybe a 40 by, you know, 60 lot. I mean, you got quite a few acres here. Let's put it that way. All right. Nice landscape with good rolling hills, and then you got the body of water. So here's the question: can you get your hands on a seasonal campground? Now, the difference is here, these people actually own these lots. I don't know what you can and can't do. It seems like the bylaws are probably pretty loose, and the community's not really enforcing, the upkeep of certain things. But if we're to open one, what can you get your hands on? What can you, like, how many acres do you need? 80 acres? Do you have a campground? Do you have monthly rents? I don't know if we want to go with the ownership model, because you're going to run into some some resistance there because people are going to say, "Oh, you can't tell me what to do." Whatever. Um, but if you're running with a community campground that maybe people come and break down and they monthly rents, weekly rents. I mean, I know that there's opportunity in that because we have our pop-up camper. All right, the pop-up camper, like these folks that are coming up. I'll give you a quick pan around. Um, but you come in, you need a place to go for a couple, long holiday weekend, and then you pull it back out when you're done with it. All right, you can get a pop-up camper. Families can enjoy this stuff. What's the opportunity? All right, you have a campground. People come in. There's fairly low maintenance. You maintain the community events. You have a little beach area. You stock the pond. You put some big fish in there and that sort of thing. You got to run numbers on it, right? Clearly, there's a volume play here. I have no idea what a place like this would be. I mean, because if you look at a 20 to 30% profit margin on a community that's bringing in $300,000 a year in fees, yeah, 100 grand, yeah, I don't know. It's not a money maker, it doesn't appear to be. But if you provide a bit of value add, and then you have your, HOA dues raised, something to be said about that. Anyhow, food for thought. But it's a nice little view, especially if you can get a waterfront community. They got a community or a spot over there that has a bit of a canal access, and people are doing late night activities, karaoke, stuff like that. It's definitely an interesting environment. But here's one thing that I'll end on. Okay, um, the family that I'm with, my family, has been coming up here for years and years. The family owns 3 lots. Okay, the people across from us, they have been coming up here since the 60s. Okay, it's a generational thing if you're doing it from this standpoint. When people have ownership of lots, there's excuse me, it's a generational thing, and people kind of get hooked on it. Some people never grow out of it. Some people come here and this is all they do all summer. And there's perks and there's downfalls of that. But all I'm saying is, this is an intro to the life that we've got here. Well, we might do this once a year, once every couple of years, just because family's already got a spot here. But one opportunity that I see is the potential for land contracts. Can you write a land contract on a property like this? It's $1,000. You can buy a lot for $1,000. You put a couple $1,000 motorhome up here, improve it, make it nice. $5,000 all in. You charge somebody, a couple $100 a month revenue. Here's your land contract option. It's a way. So you got something here. There's definitely an opportunity. So, food for thought, something to be aware of, and stew on. Ultimately, take action on. Because this would be fun, to, a little something. Because we know that there's people out here that pick up some trash. There's people that come out, and this is what they do. They come out, they leave their campers. How can we capitalize on this? Most importantly, how can we be profitable and provide a good, safe community? That's all.